Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Black Clover episode 73, and it was pretty fun, honestly. I enjoyed this episode. We got some new characters, and hey, yeah, let's just get into this. So, we start off, I don't think anything happened prior, but we start off, my first memory, is this red-haired guy with these weird funky teeth and a weird black wrapping, basically approaching the vice captain of I believe they're called the Purple Orcas, and they have kind of a confrontation, and that guy wipes the floor with the vice captain. He just takes him out and then steals his cloak, and then we see him kind of going off. However, I will say one thing before I move on. Red-haired guy, I'm already kind of cool with him. He's sassy, he's a little bit rough around the edges, but I can't go against a character that Johnny Young Bosch is playing. Love Johnny. I love him. He's one of my favorite voice actors. Can't get enough of him. I think I'm going to like this red-haired dude. The main attraction of this episode is that everybody is gathering together for this test to be part of the Royal Knights for the King, and they're all going to go after the Isle of Midnight Sun after this. Couple of things before we really get into the testing, which we really don't get into the testing. It's all set up, which is fine because I think this arc is going to be pretty cool. Anyways, so prior to the exam, I guess you could call it, starting, Finral shows up and he's got a new haircut. And he's even got some dye, like a little tips, green tips going on. And he apparently said he did this because he wanted confidence boost. He wanted to go into this with everything he's got, and good for him. However, I do find that everybody making fun of him is pretty good. I think Luck, Magna, and somebody else, they all just started making fun of him and saying that he's pretty lame for changing his hair just to try to make himself feel more confident, which is kind of really awful, but also really, really kind of funny. I always gotta feel bad for Finral. He's trying his hardest, but you know, sometimes that's not enough. Now we learn a little bit about this test or exam, and at the very least the first leg is going to be a team battle of sorts, where teams of 3 will have to guard a giant crystal and go against another team and crack, or will shatter rather, their enemy's crystal. So it'll be a bunch of teams, and there's a whole bracket for them to get up to the top, and they'll all have to shatter each other's crystals while protecting their own. And if it turns out neither side has shattered their crystal, then it's just whoever got the most hits in. Which is an interesting take. In the opening credits, it seems like maybe it devolves into more of a fast and loose battle system, because it seemed like they were just all kind of loosey-goosey, and some of the characters from the Black Bulls are not even in this tournament, so it's like, is it just going to be the kind of thing where they all, like, maybe the battle opens up and it's just more against each other, rather than just, like, kind of a, sort of a capture the flag kind of concept, only break the other people's crystal? I don't know. I think it'll be an interesting concept to see how this evolves further into the exam. Now, I'm not even going to pretend to try to remember most people's names, but most of the people that are taking the exam we've met in some capacity before. Many of the characters are the Golden Dawn characters, like Yuno and his crew, as well as obviously the Black Clover crew. So I think it'll be kind of easier to see who's going to make it into this. I have a huge suspicion that many of them are going to make the Royal Knights. It may be even some characters that are not taking the exam. So anyways, everybody's teamed up. I believe Noelle is with Yuno and somebody else, I forget. But they're teamed up, and Asta's with Mimosa and somebody else I'll talk about in a minute, although I already talked about them. Either way, so he's teamed up with the red-haired guy. Which brings me to my next point. He shows up then, and is acting all rude to Julius, I guess, although he doesn't seem to care. And he's just basically kind of smack-talking everybody, and the more I see him, the more I love him. I think he's just going to be a really cool character. I don't think we ever got his actual name, but he ended up taking the name of the Purple Orca's vice captain, Zerx, and nobody really knew what Zerx looked like, so they were just like, okay, I guess that's him, except for maybe Julius and his helper dude, I forget his name, but they seem to be a little suspicious of him. So I assume that he was already a Magic Knight, but I guess not. I don't know what the situation with him is, but I don't think he's necessarily a bad guy. I think he's just going to be a little rough around the edges, and I don't know what's going to happen to him, but he's certainly not the Zerks guy. Either way, he is teamed up with Asta and Mimosa, and Asta's not having any of it. He doesn't care for his rude and snarky attitude, but in the end, I have a feeling that they're going to really be a good team in this. Now, in this tournament, we have the bracket, and it turns out Asta's group is actually going first, and they're up against, I don't remember who they are up against. I think maybe a no-name team or something like that. It doesn't matter. Asta's going to get up there, but everybody's jockeying to fight each other. Asta was looking at, like, if he goes as far as he can, eventually he'll be able to fight Yuno, and that'll be a cool fight if they get to that point. And in the first round, Noelle's team, which is also, I think, Yuno, like I said, they're up against her brother who's participating in this. And his name is Solid, and that's a really dumb name, I think. I don't care for that name. It's dumb. His name is Solid Silva. Solid Silver? Come on, get out of here. I don't care for that. That's dumb. Either way, I bet Noelle's team is going to win, and that's going to be a huge blow to him, and he's going to get sent back to his house, and all of the Silva family is going to make fun of him because Noelle won, and she's supposed to be the weak one of them all. However, she's going to be the strongest eventually. She's pretty good in that regard. I think she has a lot of room to grow. In any event, Asta's group is primed to go because they're the first fight, and I think it'll be interesting to see where things go with this arc. I think a good tournament arc is always nice. Like the last couple episodes were the obligatory hot springs arc, but I think in many anime there's always a tournament arc too. So I think it'll be cool to see everybody going at each other. And like Julius, I also want to see their magic. Anyways, I enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of setup, really. We basically need to be introduced to the concept of this tournament, as well as the red-haired guy, which, again, I don't think we got his real name. I guess eventually they'll figure out that he's not the vice captain of the Blue Orcas. Either way, I think I'll enjoy his time on this show, and I'm excited to see what happens with him. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you thought about this episode down below in the comments section. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. I would greatly appreciate it. Makes me know that you like this video. Also, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. That way you get all the notifications for whenever I upload. Alright guys, I will see you in another video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.